Why does this look f***ed up? It's because this, like, bottom margin. Fucking a bottom margin. I wonder if that just goes here. There we go. That's better. There's like a really big gap here that I don't like. Who is responsible for that? Who is responsible for that mega gap between the delete button? Nothing on the button. No, like, left margins here either. Maybe it's the 1 EM gap between these things. Oh, I think it's because there's the button itself here has like an outside padding. Yeah, so it's like the padding on the button I want to like kind of reduce. How does this work? Okay, so I do like 1 pixel here, and then inspect this thing. I wanna bow, bow, bow. What doesn't this like? What is happening? Like, the computer padding is 0 here? Why? If that's like 20, it's clearly doing something. Ain't nothing but a 5 pixels? I mean, that's clearly having an effect. Can I do this in EM units? Yeah, definitely. Do I just want 0? And then why is this fucking not centered anymore? Like, shouldn't... Maybe it's like the outer button here? Yeah, his like height is taller. He's got a 22 height here, but this guy has a 16 height. So like, what the fuck is going on there? Is it something like... Okay, that's better. But then he's not centered again. Oh, wait, maybe not. Yeah, what's going on here? What is going on here? Do I need to, like, div fit content height? Like... Is there, like, height fit content, maybe? I don't think that's right, but we can try. I don't think that's why this is doing that. Yeah, what the fuck? Oh, this margin is not being applied? Why? Um... Hmm... So what is blue here? It's margin border padding element, right? So like somehow, despite the fact that there's maybe it's like display on the outer guy. No. Grid stretches, I think. Oh, so is it like I need like vertical align middle in here? Like, it's weird that like what's happening is like the guy inside the little delete button is like held to like the top left of the div, but then the div is stretching. Is that what's happening? What about this guy? What does this guy look like? That's not in a grid. No, he's got the same problem here, where he is also getting this expansion. Right? Like, you can see it like here. Boom, boom. You know? So like, it's something like Can we... I want to test this, like, outside of the scope of this guy. I'm scared to get rid of this. Res test 2. Okay. I guess let's start here. And, like, what is, like, the equivalent here? It's, like, div, with input, right? It's, like, I'm assuming that, like, a custom element is, like, kind of like a div. I don't really know that, but whatever. Source equals delete SVG, right? So can we go to test2 HTML? Okay, so we have this bad boy. Let's start trying to apply, like, the styling here. Some equivalent styling. So we have, like, you know, input, width 1em. Can we copy it? I mean, maybe this is good enough. Okay. Margin 0. Okay, so let's look at the layout box again. So here we have okay. So we want, like, display inline block here as well. Okay, div is still wide here. So how do we make, do we have, like, the div here? We had also, like, width. What did we do in our button? We had display inline block on the child. And then just, like, I'm pretty sure this was the thing that we just added for testing. Oh, maybe we just want, like, here. Like this. Okay, so that's getting close. Now this div is 36 by 36 and the input is 16 by 16, which makes sense because this input because we have, like, padding on the input, right? So if we did, like this, now this guy is, like, really clamped, and we're seeing, like, the parent div and the child have the exact same height. So this is different than what we're seeing with our custom element. But it might be, like, does this display matter? It might. The height is staying the same, which is interesting. Yeah, grid matters. Yeah, it might, huh? No, because it's not happening in the grid all the time. It's not happening in the grid all the time, which is important information. So can we do... Can we put this all in, like, ID is test div? And put all of these rules on test div here and test div div here. Okay. Okay. So boom, 16 by 16 all the way up. So now if we add in our guy, like this, and then we add in that thing as well. You know? So now we have two examples, and they are behaving differently. So why? Interestingly, also here, we still have 16 by 16 on the delete button as well, which means that, like, we must be fucking this up some other way. Maybe from common? Yeah, that's super interesting. Also, the fact that why is it sliding around? Why is everything so shit? Why is everything such garbage? Okay, so on this guy, he's growing for some unknown fucking reason on the ingredient page. So can we just like fucking start deleting stuff until like it doesn't do that? Like, I want to comment stuff out instead of full on deleting. So I just want to like fucking get right back to like the fucking, this would be exactly the same as the other page. Except that we are getting the delete button through ingredient.js, which is kind of weird. Okay, so that's an interesting piece of info. So if here we instead include delete button directly, don't do anything else. This guy is 16 by 22? What? Is it this meta viewport tag? No? Okay, so this, in this very, like, stripped down thing, our delete button has some extra padding on it. Right? A little 22 here. So, literally all we're doing is including water and the delete button. Versus in test 2, water, delete button. You know, like, this is the same thing. Am I fucking high? What the fuck is the difference? What is the difference? These are the same fucking... These are the same fucking website. Bro, what? These are identical, no? Control Shift R, maybe? 1616. Control Shift R. 16 by 22. I feel like I'm losing my fucking mind. Doc type? Dude, no way. Oh, okay. Question mark, question mark, question mark? Yeah, I mean, that was it. But what in the fuck? Dude, this is what you guys have to fucking deal with? I also have a double slash HTML on this one, which probably, like, maybe that's related in some way. Probably not. Dude, that's crazy. That's crazy. What the exact fuck? Doc type HTML changes div size. Yeah, I mean, what the fuck? This guy's claiming box sizing. Box sizing. Okay, I mean, I want to take a look, but like, what in the fuck? Okay, so we're saying like, if we go in here, and we have like, box sizing. Oh, it doesn't do shit. Where the fuck? So okay, what does box sizing do? When you use min height, a percent value, setting a percent of the container, by default, div only takes up as much height as its content. If you want to size the element, you need to first check the parent hit container's height. Wait, okay, wait, actually, wait, now, okay, wait, we need to go back. We need to go back to, like, the manual version of this guy that wasn't using our delete button. Right? Because I want to compare that. Okay, so now it's happening on like the manual version as well, which is good. Now that's like a thing that we can Google, right? Like, why is the div height changing? Line height. What is this? Is it from this guy? Okay, what if we don't use water now? Because that's like a good source of like everything getting, you know, it's doing all sorts of shit. So this, no custom CSS, this is still happening. So can we figure out where this is coming from? No CSS properties on this guy. Okay, that makes sense. And the fact that we're not seeing any margin above, like the margins in here are showing 0. Box sizing, so we have, okay. Line height? Unset? No. Line height. Like, okay, like that's a clue. Line height CSS. What the fuck did I just do? Where's my browser? Hello? Hello? I'm trying to, okay, line height property, here we go. Specifies the height of a line. Okay, so you can throw in like numbers. So if we go like, just to see. Line height 1.0. Okay, so that's seems to be it. Right, so this is now 16 here, and if I normal, it goes up to 22. So divs by default have a line height or something? And that adds some padding, which is like kind of fine, as long as like within this div, like that would be fine, right? I'm not really that upset that the div is 22 tall. I'm more upset that when we try to align, like the image inside this input is not centered is probably the bigger problem, right? When we're in the grid. So like what we really want to test is like something like, you're also zooming, that's the issue. The zoom is just so you guys can see it. It wasn't like that, but it's the same problem the whole way. Okay. So can we make a display grid here? And we want to add in our like, hold on. So here we're gonna have like, you know, some text, I guess. Oopsies. You know, it's like hello world, right? Okay, can we do like grid template columns is like auto. And then like width fit content. Okay. Can we do like font size? I guess we want it big. Is this an invalid font size? 50? What is like a valid hello? Invalid property value. There we go. Okay, that's what I want. So I want this guy to be big as fuck, and then I want to try to center. I want to try centering this inner div. That's the thing that we're trying to do, right? So we're trying to say like vertical line middle. Oopsies, I did something. Was that where that vertical line was supposed to go? I can't remember. I can't remember. Common CSS? Align item center maybe more? Maybe that's more what it was? Yeah, I mean, that's what it was before. And I think is that the problem? So we come back here and how did we fix? It was line height here. Made it so that he was wrapping this guy correctly, but now it doesn't do it. So display. How do we make this guy's padding not so big? Because that's now the problem, right? Can we do this? No. Yeah, so there's something fucking going on here. Where, like, this guy's stretching out, and we don't like that. If we just set, like, height here manually, that does change things. Wow, like, really bad. What in the fuck is going on now? So, like, this div is just incorrectly sized because the font is too big? You need display grid on the inner div? I don't want display grid on the inner div. That's not what I'm trying to do. I want a grid that has... I want the... Like, because this div is, like, essentially, like, my custom element, right? Is what this is supposed to be. And so I want, like, this, my custom element, to, like, fit its contents and get centered correctly. That's all I'm trying to figure out, which is fine. Like, it'll take some time. Oh, it's this. This is a bug. This is stupid. We should be doing this on ID equals like container, essentially. This is silly. Okay, now the rules are more reasonable because we're not like fucking up this guy. Huge. Huge. Okay, and then like what the fuck is going on here? So this guy... Why is he... What is going on here? Okay, get this shit out of the way. Why the fuck is he down here? Hello? Yeah, what in the fuck is going on now? So, like, the container that this guy's here... And he thinks that the container's up here, and then, like, the input is just, like, slipping out? Why the fuck is he slipped all the way down there? That doesn't make any fucking sense. Yeah, what the fuck? Why? Why? Why is everything so fucking hard? Oh, I wonder if it's like something to do with this. So we like override the width and height of this guy? But then, like... No, he's, like, definitely moving up in the world still. Very strange. Okay, so this is... So he's getting like a 68 height by default here, and then we're clamping the height, and that's causing problems. That makes sense. So I guess that means that wherever he's trying to put the input here, he wants it like in this big area. Right? Like that's kind of more of the problem here. Right? Like, this is the thing I'm most concerned about. This. Font size, no? Oh yeah, I guess maybe, huh? This was supposed to go on the other guy. I forgot. Yeah, I'm on your side there. This was supposed to go here. Okay. Wait. Okay, this is closer to what I wanted. Now we're back. Okay, this is like very analogous to the initial problem now. Very close. So if we set like line height here. Or like height to fit contents. Yeah, it's like something about that fucking line height thing. Okay, setting line height to 0 does what I expect. It like clamps that guy directly. But like I don't understand why. That is like what I'm... Yeah, I gotta figure out what that fucking thing does. I gotta fucking figure out what this thing does. Sets the height of a line box in horizontal writing modes. In vertical writing modes, it sets the width of the line box. Sure, whatever. I'm horizontal. On block level elements in horizontal writing modes, it specifies the preferred height of line boxes within the element, and on non-replace inline elements, it specifies the height is used to calculate the box height. Okay, I'm curious to know if the box sizing thing is related as well. What are like the box sizing options? Tells the browser to account for any border and padding the values specified for elements width and height. If you set elements with 100 pixels, it will include any border or padding that you added, and the content box will shrink to absorb that extra width. Or content box gives you the default CSS box sizing behavior. If you set an element with 100 pixels, then the element's content box will be 100 pixels wide, and the width of any border or padding will be added to the final rendered width. This is confusing. So, it's whatever is adding border or padding. Is it that border? I mean, it's still... It's neither border nor padding is the thing that's happening here, right? It's like ending up like in this blue box, the content box. So like, line height adjusts content box, right? So, can I make it so that, like, div... I just want to make sure that I understand... I understand, like, the idea of line height, like, I think, right? It's supposed to be that, like, you're trying to make sure that your text has, like, distance between it, and so, like, the content is growing in the div because of the fact that the text has height. Right, so like if you were to draw like the actual text, then put it in a div, you would want to pad that out for the line height. Like I kind of understand that. But like I kind of get that. If you Google an image for line height and font size, But like, what I don't understand is like, what if I just don't want? Yeah, like the sure, right? I like that makes sense. What I don't understand is like, is it? So like when I have a sphero button, right? I think we can fix this now. By the way, I think if I just put like line height 0.0 in here, I think that this will do what I want now. Wait, no, it doesn't. Oh no! I thought I understood. Plus height fit content maybe. No, I thought I got it. I thought I understood. Oh, and then was my display inline block on the other one or something? Yeah, it was. Okay, now we're so back. We're so back. So, I think that we don't need this height fit content. I think it was literally just the line height, right? Yeah. So, then I bring this back up to like take this out and it's back. Yeah, so like I understand that I can do this, but like what I don't understand yet is my HTML element inherently text? And if so, can I like tell it that it's not? You know what I mean? Like if the thing inside wasn't an input, like would it be different? That's kind of like a question that I want answered to my like for myself, right? So um like okay. Oopsies. Refresh. Okay, so now I look at this thing, and like this guy's got a height of 16 by 16, and my parent also does. And if I say, okay, now take out that line height thing, does it have the same problem? It does. It does. So like it's like the line height is like clearly affecting like all, well, no, I shouldn't say clearly affecting, but it feels like it's like a parameter of all divs. And like this isn't even a div. This is like an HTML element, right? I mean, I'm not extending HTML div element. I'm extending HTML element. And so like in my mind, line height should be something that affects like text. But I guess it could be that like in the HTML spec, since HTML is like a markup language for text first and foremost, that line height is just like a thing that applies to all elements or something like that. You know what I mean? By the way, if you just want to align the button with the text and don't really care about implementation, I'd suggest you use flex. But like the flex box doesn't fix the problem that I want like each line to be like aligned with the line below, right? And more like this doesn't like also I really want to understand this behavior because this is going to bite you me again. This is going to bite me again. And I really want to understand why. Right? So I think that the mental model that I have right now is that like line height is like not even really related to text as it is related to container. And so like yeah, it's also weird because like that means that line height. I wanted to read this again. Sets the height of a line box in horizontal running modes. Sets the width of a line box. Okay. So I want to read like formal definition. Applies to all elements. Okay. I would like to read like I just want to see like some like history or something. Like, what is it? Fandom. htmlcss.fandom.com. I don't really know what I'm looking for, just that I feel like I haven't root caused effectively. Like, that's kind of like how I'm feeling right now. This is not helpful. Like, I want like from the fucking spec. Oh, is that what that fucking link was in here? For visual presentation of blocks of text, a mechanism available to achieve the following: foreground, background color, blah blah blah. This doesn't seem like related. Am I crazy? This is for accessibility, I see. Blah blah blah. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Okay, so this specifies. I think that makes sense with my understanding too, because you can just put text content inside a div without wrapping it in a text element like pure span. Yeah, so like div elements are like inherently thought of as text, and then oh, that's actually a good thought though. I'm curious if I assume that these things don't like fucking stack on each other, right? So like if we're like, okay, fuck everything. I don't really give a shit about any of this anymore. Can we just do like hello world? Line height 1.0. And then like BR or something like this. Right, so if we set this and we start doing like 2.0, right, we can see this like clearly change, right? And yeah, so the text gets clamped here, and then the line height is like this. And so it's probably doing. Now I assume also if I've like put like a paragraph here. Oh, maybe that's not. It's gonna. Okay. Kind of behaves the same. So there's something interesting there? Something. I don't know what it is, but there's something interesting there. Can we go back to this test? And like I want to know what happens if we do something crazy. We get a little crazy in here. And we like put this inside a span or something. I want to know if the line height has like the same effect on the outer container now. Okay, so now the span has grown as well, which I guess makes sense. And then what's happening is like it's inheriting all the way down. So we set this down to 0, and then everyone down below. Oh wait, no, so the span is still big. Yeah, which makes sense. That's not surprising at all. Right, so if we want this to kind of. Whoa. Now what's happening? Oh, because display. Yeah. So I wonder if like a different display mode is like a more correct answer as well. Right? Maybe these things, maybe like saying I'm an inline block, like makes him think that he's text. You know what I mean? Ah! Okay, wait. Maybe that's relevant. So block generates line breaks both before and after the element. Inline generates one or more inline blocks that do not create line breaks before or after themselves. So then, like, what is inline block then? I want the fucking, hit me with the formal definitions. Like, what I wanna see what the different options are. What does it mean? What does it mean? What does it mean? Is it just gonna take me to the same fucking page? Okay, we need to read a little bit more carefully. More carefully. Okay. Block, inline. Inline block, flex grid. So what happens? Okay, let's get rid of this span again and go back to straight thing in div. Thing in div. And I want to take out the line height thing. So is it because, like, what if I just do like inline, no block? Still got big box, and like block is the same, I assume? Yeah, it is. Okay. Like, I wonder if there's like a it feels like there's something about, like, I am text and I am part of some text layout, and so I have a line height, right? It feels like there's something here. There should be something here that says, like, I'm not fucking text, which maybe is just not a thing that, like, maybe that just doesn't make sense, right? Like, arguably that doesn't make sense in the context of document markup, which is like what this thing is for. But I just want to understand. I just want to read a little bit more, just in case. What is box? Or like, yeah, you can do like I'm just curious. I want to understand what these are. Display contents. Maybe that's what I want. What does display contents do? Because it looks like that's kind of like aligning shit correctly now. Right? So it's almost like the container, the div doesn't like exist anymore. That feels more like what I want. Right? It's like, this is now just like a thing for you to group stuff. We don't fucking make a box. And then it's just about the fucking image. That's probably the right fucking answer. Almost certainly. Almost certainly says not understanding fucking anything, right? So if this is like contents here, then we take out the line height. We don't need any of this shit anymore, because it's like it's not a thing. Oh yeah, that's gotta be it. Can we bring it back? You know, the world. So I need to look at like where the fuck am I trying to look? I guess I'm trying to see, like, do I think this is centered? I think it kind of is. And then the text, like, isn't really centered because, like, yeah, but that makes kind of more sense. I do think that, like, okay, can we put the delete button back on the other side of the button, actually? Oh, that's just on the right side, just so I can, like, eyeball it a little better. Right? Like, This now is like perfectly centered with this. Line height 1 on text. Yeah, that might be the play, huh? Yeah. Yeah. I think that's pretty close to what I was looking for. Why the fuck is this thing always red? That's weird, right? Why is this fucking maybe hover? Oh, because we can't because this thing doesn't exist anymore. So this has to be like, something like this. There's something there's something here where like um is it like here? Yeah, it's like this. Yeah, so because of the fact that the delete button is now just like, I'm not like a fucking thing, just display my contents, then we need like the saturation stuff to be applied to this child. But we can still apply on click handlers and stuff to the div in JavaScript, and he's like fine with it. Yeah. That feels like the right answer. I want to see the definition for contents. These elements do not produce a specific box by themselves. They are replaced by the pseudo box and their child boxes. Please note that display level 3 spec defines how the contents value should affect unused elements that aren't rendered purely by CSS box concepts. Okay, so I think I understand. So all elements are kind of considered text, kind of. And so when you have like text and then other text, you have like the box, the tight bounding box around the text itself. Right? You have like, oopsies, what the fuck am I doing? Dude, I'm just like clicking buttons everywhere. Okay, so you have like, hello. And you draw like a tight ass bounding box around this guy, as tight as you fucking can. Right? And then we go, okay, but we're gonna fucking put another line here. And so the line height stuff like pads it, right? And so that's kind of like the responsibility of the container that the text is in. I think, if I understand this correctly. And so what's happening is that even though this is not text, because there might, like, the div is going like, okay, there's gonna be like more text below, probably, then like I have to put the bottom line height here so that the padding between lines makes sense. And so we have to go like, no, fuck off. Don't fucking do that. Don't do that. Just like, don't pretend you don't exist. You're not a box at all. Just fucking clamp down on the fucking input below. So I think that makes sense. I don't know how fully confident I am that this is a good solution, but it feels kind of right to me. Right, the other option would be like inline-block and line height 0, but like, because this is like kind of semantically different. This is like, hey, generate a box that now like has behavior on it, which is maybe nicer by some metric of nicer. Right, now you go in here and we look at this guy and he's behaving the same, but now we have like an external box that like you could maybe use this to your advantage in some way, right? If somebody's like trying to write CSS rules for delete button, now it like behaves like a thing that they might expect. I wonder what happens if I go like width on this guy, on like the outer guy now. Yeah, so that kind of like pads out this guy. And so probably it might make sense for external users, it might make more sense to do this. You know? So now somebody who wants to style the button themselves, whoa. I guess we still need this. Right, because now I can go on here and I can say on the actual button element, like the Sphero button element, you know, I can like make it bigger, and now kind of like that behaves the way that you would expect. I guess it's kind of like almost now that the input is like leaking out. So you'd have to do like some sort of like aspect ratio correction in some way, you know, which I don't really understand. Not fully, at least. Like, I wonder if it's just auto, if that kind of... No. You want it to, like... Maybe if you do, like... No, I'm not sure. Not sure. Okay, I can go back to display contents. This feels like the least complex option to me. But maybe, like, external people using this would be a little bit confused. But that's okay. With fit content. I was trying to go the other way, though. Like, fill parent, you know? Where the fuck was I? Let's go back to this version. Right, so I kind of wanted, like, a thing that will expand either to, like, the larger of height and width, which I don't know if you can, like, do, right? Like, CSS, image, fill, container, you know, max width height or something. It's like a thing. Object fit cover. Can you do that on like a... I wonder if you can do that. If that works, then that's better. If that works, that is kind of nice. Doesn't look like it. Why not use button, image, button instead of input? Because when I googled how to make an image button, this is what came up. But maybe that would be nicer because then I could do object fit, like you're saying. I'm just gonna do this. This is fine. This is fine. We'll say here, what are we trying to say? Div by default, will add padding to the content box, which messes up placement in a, you know, in a grid. We could set line height to 0 instead. But this seems like it's a more, this seems like a, but if we are trying to expose the, we're trying to expose the input box as closely as possible, there's comma fucking city, dude. This is a more accurate, this is a better representation of that. Downside is that you can no longer directly set, you know, width, height, etc. on the delete button element. Which might be confusing for external users. Hey Zig guy, last I watched your YouTube video, you were making your own map or something. I did do that, you know, last week sometime. We jump around on this stream, you know? We do some things, we do other things. You know, you just jump around. Jump around. Dude, y'all web dev world is crazy. But I'm sure it's like mostly just because my mental model is wrong, but okay. That feels pretty good.